Okay, great. Guys, greeting to our esteemed participants. Welcome to our dynamic and insightful webinar centered around the theme using AI in alignment with goals and expectations. I am thrilled to be running this show today for you. And a brief introduction about myself. I am the country head here at Silverpush. I have spent 7 years at this incredible tech-hungry organization. And in today's digital age, where AI is reshaping industries, we have managed to bring together two exceptional speakers. Chinmay from Madison, an engineer at head and a marketer at heart. He's a digital professional with more than 14 years of experience and specializes in consulting brands on multi-channel ROI-driven digital strategies. Chinmay, there is so much to speak about you, but I would rather want you to take this up and add a little bit more to your introduction.
Thank you, Chaitanya. As rightly mentioned, being a little more than 14 years into this industry, I've been working in digital marketing since long. Since last couple of years, while I've been trying to diversify my profile into integrated marketing, trying to be a generalist in a profile, but topics like tech, chat GPT, AI, generative AI, they keep pulling me back to my specialist profile of digital. So of course, I'm excited to share my point of view on this topic of AI and how we can use it in the media ecosystem.
Brilliant. Listening to that, Chinmay. And from LG, we have Pulkit, who is a digital marketing stalwart and has more than 15 years of experience. He has successfully transformed businesses across consumer durables, BFSI, auto, and other categories. He's a strong proponent of use of technology to solve complex marketing issues. Pulkit, I've known you for years now, and whenever I speak for you will be less. So I would rather want you only to speak about yourself a little bit here before we jump into this conversation.
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Pulkit. So I represent LG Electronics here. So as Chaitanya mentioned, it's been around more than 15 years since I've been there in the digital marketing industry, having being on the brand side as well as on the agency side, and worked on some really marquee brands and helped them solve really complex issues, whether it's attribution or brand building or others. So, and the generation AI is something which is new for me also, but I'm trying to just solve this puzzle for everyone and trying to understand the technology involved. So that because we know that AI is the future and it will help us in reducing time taken for important tasks, which could be used otherwise in some other issues, other important things. So yeah, extremely excited to be here and looking forward to the discussion.
Brilliant. Over the next few minutes, we'll unravel the realm of AI-driven media strategies. How these strategies can actually bridge the gap between goals and expectations. Our experts here will illuminate how AI is revolutionizing personalization as well as decoding consumer behavior. As we move along with this conversation, you will understand a lot of new things from our experts here. So without any further delay, guys, let's just dive into this enlightening journey. What I'll do is I'll first start with you, Pulkit.
Sure.
And start this conversation with you and try and understand from you. When you work with an agency and when you're working on a marketing plan and on a marketing proposal, what exactly are your expectations from an agency? And how do you align these expectations? And how crucial for you is that part where you want the agency to be very tech centric and they should have that experience in leading from the front from tech-led solutions.
Yeah. So it's very important to have the right partner, and for that they need to have the right information from our side. So whenever I need to brief the agency or select the agency, I ensure that I provide them with all the correct information and a very detailed brief. So whether it's a brand brief or a performance marketing brief, I ensure that each and every data point which according to me is relevant for planning is provided to the vendor or the agency. And I also share our business insights with the seasonality and about products that the reasons why consumer select our product, whether it's the air conditioner or the TV or the air purifier and whatever. So we give them all the insights and support them that what is the requirements and what are the expectations from the management, from the agency as well as the campaign. So it's very important to have the right parameters. Like for example, if I'm looking at a conversion campaign, so I tell them that I'm looking at a ROAS of 3 for this campaign, for example, and which could be the potential channels like which could deliver this number. And if the agency is able to exceed the expectations, we ensure that they get acknowledged and rewarded from our side also. So it's very important to work in a partnership and be very transparent in the approach.
Understood. Understood. So, Chinmay, you heard the man, and you've been dealing
Right.
with a lot of clients yourself and a lot of categories that you work around with. So, how do you first decode these expectations, and then what usually is your strategy before you actually, get on with executing the plan, and
Right.
how
So, yeah.
crucial is the role for ad technologies here?
Right. So, as Pulkit mentioned, that their dependency on a lot of data points resides on the client side also, because the brand KPIs are something that are going to be defined by our clients. It's the media that then comes into picture of how media KPIs are going to be drawing parallel to the brand KPI. Just taking an example, like Pulkit mentioned, that there would be certain objectives that would be chasing conversions at that task. There would be certain objectives that will be talking about top of mind awareness, spontaneous awareness. And then what we do is, once we align our objective, that is when we have multiple ad tech tools that helps us give a lot of information. Now, of course, while we are talking digital and similar kind of briefs we get from an integrated manner. So there are tools like Bark and TGI, which helps us understand a lot of audience behavior, their media consumption habits, their psychographic analysis. So we use tools like GWI, TGI to first define what my consumer is doing in this ecosystem. From there, we kind of understand where where they are lying in terms of digital or offline or print or radio. Now, talking largely from a digital standpoint, a Google search or Amazon search is a very good indicator of how a particular brand or a category is performing, maybe in this segment, maybe last year versus this year, and 5 years down the data line. So there are a lot of tools like third-party tools like a SimilarWeb will come into picture, will give us competition and understanding. There will be a lot of tools like Comscore, which will give us media and platform understanding. So amalgamation of all GWI, TGI, SimilarWeb, Comscore, all these tools put together will then help us draft a media strategy to achieve a particular brand KPI or a brand objective that we are talking about. So of course, the dependency is largely on the tools, because these are the information that resides in the outside ecosystem. And these tools kind of helps us to get that information in a refined manner.
Understood. Understood. And when you are, once you have all these tools in place and once you know what is it exactly that you're chasing and how to go about it, what exactly is your strategy? Then you start finding the right partner, I'm assuming. And then,
Absolutely.
oh, okay, got it. And what about ad technologies?
So first of all, right partner is the most essential part of this entire media exercises, because there are KPIs in terms of reach and frequencies. There are KPIs in terms of reaching out to right audiences in the right frequency with the right creative. Now, of course, we are dependent on platform to give us that information, and of course, their understanding of how they will be able to deliver the media. Just taking an example while we've been talking AI since last 1 or 2 years, AI has always been there in the ecosystem. We've been talking AI for last 4 or 5 years. Maybe the generative AI part has kicked in now, and hence there is a lot of exploration around AI. But Google and Meta ecosystem has already started talking AI since past 4 or 5 years. And these are the partners then which helps us reach out to this audiences with right communication, right targeting, and of course the media weights behind them help us achieve whatever desired objectives are.
Understood. Understood. So since you spoke of AI and you mentioned AI, and that's what our topic is, Chinmay. So I'll first move to Pulkit here. Pulkit, and in the first question, you mentioned that it's very important that you define the ROAS, the expected ROAS, And of course, all of this, you're doing this so that you can make more profits and you can sell products, right? So how do you think that AI can help you in meeting your business objectives, whether it is in terms of making more profit, whether it is in terms of brand reputation, or whether it is in terms of visibility?
The simple answer is all of the above. So the reason is that like we have been using AI for creative as well as business insights. So we track the entire customer journey, that what are the reasons which profiles the customer to purchase our product. How are we able to distinguish ourselves from competition? What are the factors which impact his purchase? For example, there may be there may be a promoter who's pushing for a competition product. What are the factors which we can like promote, which can help us in selling our product at the moment of purchase. So all those insights, we take the feedback at the store level, and then we do our number crunching, and basis that we plan our campaigns. So, and the same thing gets communicated in our creative as well as media. So the our ad copy is our display creative, they basically help solve the customers issues. Whether, let's say, you must have seen our creative which says that it cools, the LG AC cools at 52 degrees as well, and it helps you save electricity. So these are the two insights which we got, that the people who use AC for, let's say, 7-8 hours a day, they were very concerned about their power bills. So we ensured that we push our inverter products to them, which saves electricity as well as like provide them with the adequate cooling. So those kind of insights we used while planning our campaign, and we say that even while targeting in our campaign, so we make lookalike campaigns and custom audiences, which gives us maximum probability of conversion. So all this is done by an AI model. So using the first party data. So AI is definitely important in all aspects, whether it's our dashboard analytics, creative, and reporting everything. AI is it cannot be avoided in any sense in today's times.
Got it. And do you also see the role of data scientists and analytics?
Yeah, absolutely. So like I can talk about myself, like our company only. So we have more than 10 data scientists working. Like from 2022, we have had more than 10 people who just do the role of number crunching and telling us what to do, and that has impacted our brand spend. So as a digital marketer, I would have preferred to like putting in more money for brand marketing campaigns, but data says that you should do more of performance. And since we were able to do precision marketing, so AI plays a very important role.
So basically, it's helping you take wiser decisions.
Yeah, it's helping us scale spends and helping us with razor sharp targeting, and it is helping us in D2C sales. So I would definitely like to give credit to AI for helping us in getting a higher number of conversions. And I would also like to since we're I would like to mention about Silverpush solutions like mirrors, which has given us very good visibility and helped us in bringing consideration. So because building, it's not that you customer will purchase a 50,000 product in one go. You need to build a full funnel strategy, right from awareness to consideration to purchase. So definitely the AI-led solution from Silverpush has helped us a lot.
Thank you so much. We hope we keep helping you always. Chinmay, I have the same question for you, just that a little different approach. When it comes to using AI in meeting your business objectives, it may be more concerned with understanding reports. It may be more, aligned towards optimizing campaigns. So, and maybe setting something related to campaign setup, etc. Right? So, I want to understand, how is it that you think AI can help you here?
See, according to me, AI is an extremely crucial when it comes to media execution. And I break it down into maybe a couple of pointers or maybe three. It really helps us from a targeting lens. So because there is an AI, I can reach out to a lot of people in a personalized manner. I can reach out to them in a hyper localized manner with the right communication and the right creative. That is a different, but it helps a lot in terms of optimization and media execution also. With the help of AI, I can reduce my wastages. I can reduce my my spends going in the wrong direction. With the help of AI, I can actually make sure that my target of spends is getting delivered in a particular set of time. There are so many AI driven scripts that we keep on using in our search ecosystem, so that we are not wasting our impressions on something that is not delivering us. That is one part. Second is definitely it helps us create a lot of innovative strategies, innovative ways of reaching out to our consumers, and that really helps a brand to grow their brand awareness quotients also. I'll just take an example over here. One of our paints brand, leading paints brand, was launching a antibacterial paint, which was kind of curing the indoor pollution, which claimed to cure indoor pollution, and of course they have numbers to prove it. Now, a media task for me was to reach out my audiences in a very innovative manner. So we tied up with a tech partner which had a lot of AQI related information. So that AQI was then clubbed with the city of where we were targeting the campaign. The communication was customized basis the area. So for an example, a Bandra would have a air quality index of XYZ versus that of a Goregaon versus that of a Thane. And the right creatives with that AQI was served to them when they were kind of present in that location, which then translated into curing. And the statement said that while your outdoor pollution is this, which you cannot control, your indoor pollution can become curbed by this new paints that we are launching. Now, this is a very excellent way of using a technology, using a lot of AI, because there's a lot of information that we are pre-feeding the tool for it to deliver a particular communication to a particular audiences, and hence that makes our communication more effective, and brand gets its own visibility in terms of trying out innovative methods to reach out to our consumers also.
Understood. And I believe you also won an award for this entire campaign.
Yes. There are a lot of awards that we won for this AQI related campaigns.
Yes, and I think we were one of the tech partners for you.
Absolutely.
Actually, it was campaign. So yeah, I think good that we spoke of this. And my next question was actually on understanding, practical examples. While I'll again move to you, Pulkit. While we spoke of a lot of things, how it's helping you, create more D2C sales, how it's helping you optimize, how it's helping you plan things in a better way. We would love to understand, use cases or some live examples. I'm sure you must have used it already.
Yeah. So like we use AI for all our DCO programmatic campaigns. So we were able to create almost 10,000 creatives in the matter of 1 hour. So basis customers affinity, likes, his location, temperature. We were using almost 20-25 variables. We were able to do a pinpoint targeting for a customer, which helped us in doing almost 100 TV sales. A TV worth 3 lakh rupees was sold. So so AI and we would certainly like to give the credit to AI based creative approach for this kind of sales on our D2C platform. So because when you're looking at a premium audience, which has a very which is not even 1% of India's population, you have to be razor sharp into targeting so that there's no wastage. So using AI, you're able to do right segmentation, bucketing, and reach those at the right moment, because the moment is very important. Let's say our for the TV, there are audiences who watch golf, who travel internationally, and use let's say top notch Amex card and other factors, right? So we were able to do right bucketing and basis our AI based approach. We were able to do actual conversion because we were able to give them customized offers. So those kind of things, I would certainly like to give credit to AI for our conversion. Similarly, unfortunately, we are not known for our earplugs, but we were able to do extremely good sales because we the key USP, which is the 100% bacteria. Our earphones kill 100% of the bacteria in your ear. So those communication was given to people who care about hygiene. Right. So we didn't talk about the quality of sound and other things, but we talked about hygiene. So people who felt that hygiene is an important factor and sound comes secondary. So we were able to reach those kind of audiences and get some amazing conversion numbers of a very expensive. Yeah, it's called the LG tone. So I am a firm believer in AI and using technology for reaching the customers, and I feel that's the way forward. Yeah.
That's some case study, Pulkit. Amazing.
Yeah.
How many? Chinmay, again, same question to you as well, because your use case might be a little different from how Pulkit has been using it. And I would really love to understand with respect to execution, how is it that AI helped you and if there is any use case at all?
So I'll like to give a couple of examples over here. One I already mentioned about the paints brand, and of course that really helped us kind of create that core niche segmentation that we were actually looking at. So when we deployed our entire creative in that right location with that right communication to tying up with that AQI partner, and of course Silverpush was a big part of it. We were able to actually create a lot of search volumes. Now, when I say a lot of search volume is that while Pulkit would have data from sales point of view, media agencies, not all media agencies that data is passed back to. So we are dependent on a lot of data that is available in the larger ecosystem. And one of the measure of success is what we see is in terms of increase in brand search queries or increase in search queries related to that particular term. So when we executed this campaign, of course, antibacterial paint and all those Indo pollution paint, curing Indo pollution paint, all these keywords started showing a lot of search impact. So before the campaign, it was say almost zero or negligible search volume, but after the campaign, these searches picked up in the Google system. So that was the kind of success that we were able to see. So while CTR and all these are measurement in terms of engagement rates, which definitely helps us understand or give an indicative analysis of whether the campaign is successful or not. But these are hardcore KPIs in terms of movement of brand search queries or search queries in particular in category, which really helped us increase our sales also and that entire visibility. Second example that I would want to give is something that we executed for a brand called Cipla, and there is a brand called Nicotex in that. Now Nicotex is operating in a very niche segment, right? A lot of times our creatives are paused, either disapproved because there are certain terminologies that we have to use in the communication which doesn't follow or which Google or Facebook doesn't let the audiences use that creative. So what we did was actually we created a AI driven chatbot which was residing on a particular website of Nicotex, and we were able to actually interact with a lot of first party audiences. So while the audiences was coming on to the website with whatever paid marketing push activities that we were doing, once the audiences was there and they started interactive, there was an entire seamless user journey with multiple paths that was designed basis the question what they had, and that really helped engage with our audiences on Nicotex. And there were certain new product launches in the Nicotex segment that we were doing, new flavors, new packs in terms of grams, 50 grams, 25 grams. That were the new packages that we were kind of trying to launch, and this entire chatbot experience helped us execute that activity in a very personalized manner, because we had the personal information, PI information, of course with the consent of the user. We were able to kind of tweak our consumer journeys and provide them with a particular option which then might lead them to purchase. So these are a couple of examples that definitely help us from an AI lens, because this is again outside ecosystem talking to the internal ecosystem, driving a lot of search queries and the sales at the back. And one example that I would always love to see is Zomato and Swiggy that keep on using their predictive modeling and AI, because there are times when we are used to ordering at particular point in time, maybe in the morning, evening, afternoon, maybe on the weekends, weekdays. And if we kind of miss ordering at that time, there's a prompt or a notification that immediately comes that, hey, do not order your coffee. It's the time to order your biryani or something on those lines. Now, these are again AI-led interventions that a particular brand uses that nudges the consumer to actually make a purchase. Of course, good or bad is something that is debatable, but definitely it's a right usage where it's very personalized and it's very localized.
Do you also think that AI is entering the privacy here? Well,
being a marketer, I would say yes. But unfortunately, that is how the entire marketing ecosystem is evolving, because everybody wants to have a personalized experience. Now, there's a very thin line when it comes to privacy, because at the end of the day, we are uploading everything on our social media platforms, and these social media platforms or anybody, we are giving all the accesses to our apps on the devices. So in a way, we are giving all the information that is residing with us to all these apps. And now these apps and the platforms are kind of using it to reach out to us in more efficient manner. Privacy, non-privacy is debatable, but from a marketing lens, of course, it really helps if there's a lot of data point for us to prove from a marketing point of view.
Got it. So, which brings me to my next question, which is, of course, while there are a lot of positives about AI, but do you also see any potential challenges or limitations when, while implementing AI at all? Pulkit, this is for you.
Yeah, definitely. Like as a brand custodian, we have to be extremely careful while using AI, especially in our ad copies and basically the product communication. So if like AI has a tendency to do like a lot of plagiarism, which can impact copyrights, right? So we have to ensure that we go through our communication twice, thrice, get it approved from our legal teams and compliance and other for and complete much required formalities before we use our AI. So it's an enabler, but we cannot blindly just copy whatever the AI recommends. We definitely have to check it. So and and it can be misused also. So we have to ensure that if somebody else is misusing our communication, that we need to check that also. It's not just our communication. If competition or any third party customer or any other vendor is misusing our logo, our communication. So that also needs to be detected, and AI would certainly help in that part also. So it's going to be on both sides.
Got it. What do you think, Chinmay? Do you see any limitations here?
Well, I see a lot of limitations. Starting first is that implementation of AI in itself, because while the term is new and a lot of people have a lot of excitement, it comes with a big challenge of first understanding the data point. Because if there are no data points at the start, it cannot deliver right from start. So it needs a lot of data points and insights for it to learn and then start optimizing. So that is one challenge. Second challenge, I rightly agree with Pulkit, is plagiarism, because there is something that is getting generated online. There is no way we can validate whether that is right or wrong. I was just going through a lot of videos in terms of the entire generative AI exercise, where maybe I was just giving an example of a podcast that I was watching, where a Sonu Nigam's voice, a song of Sonu Nigam can be completely transformed into a voice of Arijit Singh. Now, of course, this is copyright issue. While AI will help us, all the brands can get benefited with this usage, but this is a lot of big problem from an ethic point of view, because the entire singer association is kind of taking note of it. So again, I recently saw a communication where Sachin Tendulkar is doing an ad, and he's referring back to his childhood dates, and where their AI is actually reducing his age by whatever years, and actually Sachin, how he must be looking at the age of 14 is getting replicated. Now, of course, that is with consent of Sachin Tendulkar, but now tomorrow, if a particular brand or anybody in the digital ecosystem starts using it without any consent, then it's a very big problem. And there is a very thin line whether it is plagiarism or not, because it's generative AI again. So again, brands have to be extremely cautious of what they are doing. Agencies have to be double cautious, because there are timelines that we keep on fighting. And Pulkit will agree to us that every client would want anything, new thing every month, every quarter. They want to test out new ideas. So
Absolutely,
new
completely
ideas are
agree
not
with
going
you.
to not going to be evolved time and again. So these are there are times when we kind of become a little complacent and say chalo ye karke dekh lete hain, without actually understanding the ethical part or something behind that, how it might affect the entire communication at large. So these are the limitations and challenges that I foresee from an AI lens.
Got it. Got it. So, guys, of course, there are a lot of limitations, as you guys rightly said. And you also mentioned creative somewhere. So I want to understand,
Yeah.
with respect to creative, how important is the creative communication? Of course, it is very important, but how important is it for it to be dynamic in nature? And do you also see a role for AI here?
Yeah, so absolutely, as I mentioned earlier, the AI-based creative performs really well from a performance point of view. It helps us in conversions, getting into the consideration funnel, and those things are very important for us because there's so much of clutter. All brands are advertising at the same time, whether it's through search, display, and video. But to stand out from competition and from other advertisers, you need to have the right messaging in front of the customer. It has to be innovative. It has to be like very striking in front of the customer. You should be able to distinguish what is the brand's communication. If you remember the 90s ad of the Fevicol, so we still remember the punchlines, right? Because the video was such, the punchlines were such that nobody is able to forget. Those are unforgettable ads. So we have to in today's times are had to stand out from the crowd and ensure that our communication is what the customer is looking for. If I'm targeting a premium customer, then I should not be talking about value. Rather, I should be talking about features and lifestyle. That how my product is adding value to his lifestyle. He is looking for class. He is not looking for something which is very value based. So we have to ensure that this kind of communication goes through in our creative approach as well. And certainly AI will help us in like developing such creatives which reaches the right potential customer.
Absolutely. You've created 10,000 creatives in an hour.
Yeah, absolutely. We have done multiple such campaigns, and those all
Right.
have been very effective.
Yes.
Right.
So since you've already achieved that, what do you think can be the next big thing when it comes to creative innovations using AI?
I think something what I talked about was the display creative. So something with regards to video on a real time basis could be the next thing which could hit the market. And if we could suggest something to the customer what he's looking at the moment, so that will help us in getting better conversions, and customer also gets what he really wants. He because he's also short of time. If everything is served on the platter and with the right communication, he's able to save his time and get the best product.
Right, absolutely. Chinmay, my next question is to you, and this is a follow-up question what I asked Pulkit also. So since
Right.
he said that there has to be an innovation around video, and it's also because there is a lot of creative fatigue that's happening. So how do you deal with creative fatigue at present?
See, right now, I'll be very honest. Creative is a entire domain which is unexplored to a large extent by most of the brands. While let's hypothetically take there are 100 brands, only 10 brands would be actually talking the creative language, whereas 90 would be just simply adapting their offline creatives to the online ecosystem. Now, that itself is the first red flag when it comes to digital creatives. Now, we are not even talking about AI-driven creatives over here, right? We are talking about just adapting from an offline to a digital ecosystem. Now, the role of AI that I feel that as Pulkit also mentioned, that it's the right communication to right consumer audience at the right time. Right now, if somebody who is already in the in-market phase, who's already in the purchased phase, the communication to him or her should be offer-led or a transaction-led, versus somebody who is in the exploratory stage would have a different kind of a communication. So your information-based creative versus intent-based creative is something that definitely matters. And AI is actually going to come into picture while analyzing which part of the consumer journey a user is, and accordingly showing him that creative. Now, of course, that will come a lot from a AI and machine learning objective. And now, of course, we are kind of entering into the cookieless world, where your first party cookies are any which is third party cookies are any which is going to be depreciating. So again, your entire dependencies is going to be on affinity and contextual relevance. Now, when it comes to contextual relevance, that is when your creative comes into picture again. Because if a particular audience or a user is on a particular site to consume a particular type of content, your creative has to be contextual enough for it to have the right resonation when it comes to your brand. Now, unfortunately, what happens is there are a lot of brands who are doing very good on this, but they don't know when to stop. So I say that creative AI right now is in the phase where it's intelligent because it knows what to do. It needs to be wise on when to do it, but it has to be genius. Of course, it'll take a lot of time. It has to be genius of knowing when to stop. So right now, the brands who are exploring it are doing it a bit more, because taking an example from a travel industry where I've already booked my Bombay to Goa flight, and it still keeps on serving me creatives to book a flight for a particular duration. Now I'm already converted. So that creative, that impression, that ad is a waste for me. So it's important for us to know also from where to stop from a media lens. And of course, creative plays a very, very big and large role in that.
Understood. I think from whatever last two questions we talked about, it's very clear that contextual creatives with respect and interactivity at the same time are very important. So, Chinmay, again, same question to you. How do you find the right partner in this case?
Well, I kind of look at 3 or 4 parameters while choosing a right partner. One is industry experience. I don't want a partner who's selling me a solution. I want a partner, or I evaluate a partner who is helping me solve my client's problem. Now, there are 2 different things that I'm topping. One is, of course, solution. Definitely, there is a lot of rigor and might that partners put into developing a particular product solution. But if that product solution is not helping me find out an answer to my client's problem or a challenge, then it's difficult for me to even experiment. So, of course, industry and domain expertise is something that I look out for. Reference cases, use cases is something that I look out for. Of course, when somebody is developing a new product, it is difficult for them to kind of build on to cases. But then, of course, there are a lot of, I would say, a lot of partners who can come up with a lot of good solutions, creative solutions, understanding the brand's challenge. Like we worked on the tech part where my challenge was to promote a Indo pollution cure paint brand, and where the tech partner like you came into picture, giving us a solution on AQI technology based, location based creative. Now that is a good solution that I can take to the client and then resolve my query. So choosing a right partner again depends on industry and domain expertise, whether you have the right solution to the problem that I have from my client's point of view. These are the 2 major parameters. Other than that, what are the kind of innovation? Are they up to date? Now, there are still a lot of partners who come to me and talk about content and content related solution, whereas we've already moved in the direction of generative AI and AI led solution. So they don't talk tech, they talk content, which is very important, but the entire world is moving into the tech part, and I cannot keep on talking the content language with my clients. So these the partners also need to be updated of what exactly is happening in the industry, and that helps us choose a right partner also.
Got it. I think so interesting and so good to hear that technology plays a very crucial role in every aspect here. And Chinmay, since you mentioned generative AI, so my next question is about generative AI.
Right.
Generative AI has been a part of all these discussions nowadays.
Right.
What do you expect regarding the same, and have you started experimenting with it actually? Personal life, however.
Right. So I would just want to spend 2 minutes on talking about generative AI, because it's a different than AI actually. So for my audience and for our discussion purpose, there are 3 layers. One is artificial intelligence, which kind of creates a lot of statistics or a lot of function basis pre-read data. So but that is a limitation, because it can only perform a certain task. Then it comes machine learning, where machine learning is a lot of data that goes into the ecosystem, and then the algorithm keeps on learning basis what the data point is giving. Generative AI, on the other hand, does all of this, but it also has a feature of converting an image to a text to a video to a audio. All those things is so. Of course, from a creative standpoint, currently generative AI is picking up really well, but I'm yet to see a use case. I would say there are a couple of examples that Mondelez executed that entire Shah Rukh Khan and Mondelez campaign, where Shah Rukh Khan reached out to them, the dealers and the retailers, in their personalized messaging for Mondelez. Similar activity was done from a localization point of view from Zomato, where Hrithik Roshan is talking about a particular location, like say Andheri East, is talking about a store in JB Nagar. Now these are all generative AI related creatives, but it needs a lot of investment and a lot of trust from brand side also, because it might not result into a hardcore KPI at that point in time. Maybe it will also, because you're talking about personalization and localization, but not all brands will benefit at the same time in the same manner of execution. So I see that generative AI is definitely here to stay. A lot of good things can be there. A creative point of view, video point of view, are something that we are talking about. Even Google has come up with a new, once call it a generative AI, but AI ML driven module where you can actually upload a creative in a particular language, and that language creative automatically converts into multiple other languages, because India is a country with vernacular space. So you don't have to actually invest into each of and every language, but the tool will definitely do it for you. So of course, to summarize, I would say generative AI is definitely here to stay, but it will take some time to actually take a front seat from a media and execution lens.
Got it. Pulkit, what do you think? I know that you've used generative AI in your personal life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I also do that every now and then. But yeah, I would love to understand how is it and what do you think about generative AI?
So we are already using GenAI for our search campaigns. So all the ad copies and everything are done through GenAI. So that helps us in saving time and optimizing the campaign at a real-time basis. So we know that what works, what doesn't work, and let at the right frequency we are able to change the communication. And we know that which campaign is giving us better CTR conversion rates and all the business and media metrics. So that's one use case. We are also using as Chinmay also mentioned, we are using for creatives and all. So those things are also very important for us, and but that is still at an exploratory stage. But as of now, we are mostly doing our search campaigns the ad copy using GenAI.
I don't want this session to end, but just last question to
Yeah.
you, Pulkit.
Yeah.
Since you're talking about generative AI, and do you think that generative AI can help you understand consumer consumption pattern in a much better way?
Yeah, absolutely. Because like it helps us in data interpretation also. All of us have internal dashboards which shows the sales data, media data, but it helps us in interpretation. A lot of key insights which human minds may miss out gets highlighted through AI. So, for example,
Sure.
I'll give you a very generic example that a lot of marketers tend to miss out on, let's say, Bihar, Odisha, and Kerala markets. But if we are able to target these markets with the right product, then these can be a gold mine markets as well. So
Right.
those kind of insight, and even let's say in these states also, let's say there are some regions which are which have very high very high number of affluent audiences. So, but they get ignored by large brands. So identifying and targeting through AI is something definitely marketers should watch out for and use it to their advantage.
Absolutely. Guys, I think we are running out of time now. We hardly left time for any questions, but yeah, I would insist the audience to just drop me an email for any questions that you might have. As we draw our insightful session to a closure, I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the both of you. Thank you so much for being
Pleasure,
here today.
Chaitanya.
Thank you.
Your
Thank you.
insights have truly illuminated the powerful ways in which AI can be utilized, actually. All our participants, thank you so much, guys. It's been a pleasure. Let's stay connected. And of course, at Silverpush, we will keep transforming this industry. Everything is AI-led here for sure, whether it is creative or making sure that you reach out to your precise audience at the precise moment. So yeah,
Correct.
thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you,
and-
Chaitanya.
Thank you, Chaitanya. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Pulkit.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks. Bye, Chaitanya.